America, the rise of the police state. Fellow patriot, I don't know exactly how it's going to end, but I know it's going to end badly. And guess what? So does our government. Take a look. That's a wall-sized mural commissioned by our government at the Denver International Airport. Pay particular attention to the Nazi SS-styled uniform, the gas mask, the bombed-out burning buildings, the dead children's bodies being buried, and the Arabian-styled saber stabbing the dove. Kind of scary, isn't it? There are other paintings equally sinister. What do they know that you and I don't? Where will you be when it hits the fan? In this video, I want to share what I've learned. I want you to know the truth, and it ain't pretty. What you are about to see will shock you. It will disturb you. And hopefully, if I have my way, it'll provoke you. Provoke you to action. Watch this entire video, because what you're finally going to see is the big picture. You're going to get a glimpse of how it all goes down, what they don't want you to know. Now, if you're watching this video right now, I'm going to make one major assumption: that you're a patriot, that you love this country, that you do anything, including give your life, to protect it. I'm mad as heck right now, and if you're a patriot, you probably are too. Our government, our own government, is quickly turning against us. They're treating us as if we're the enemy, sometimes worse. What you are about to learn in this video is all true. Let's start with something recent: the Boston bombings. The pain still fresh in our hearts and minds. What happened was a travesty, no doubt about it. But here's what you didn't see on TV. What you didn't see was door-to-door, warrantless searches of innocent people's houses. There's a reason. Watch this.
So who the owner?
We're tenants on the second floor.
This is your friend?
Yes.
These two people?
Yes.
What's your name? Ma'am? I'm gonna step out of the way of that muzzle.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. So we get to pat him down on the way out and make sure they don't take our shit.
Do you receipt for anything we do? Is that a search image?
Yes.
Who gives the government that right? Who took away our right to privacy, to unreasonable search and seizure, to probable cause? And let me ask you, why didn't the media report on this? This is exactly my point. We're all being stripped naked, stripped of our most basic rights, our property, and even our ability to defend ourselves and even our families. It's not only terrorists who are targeted, it's anyone the government thinks is against them. You may think it can't happen to you. Think again. If something like this can happen to one of us, it can happen to any and all of us. And you can appreciate that, can't you? We need to prepare. Let's look at guns. The government is trying to do everything in their power to take our guns away from us. to prohibit us from buying more of them, to make it illegal to own a gun. We've seen all the shenanigans they're trying to pull, right? They're hell-bent on taking away our inalienable right to keep and bear arms, to protect ourselves, family, and our property, while they and the criminals, the drug cartels, and the terrorists get to keep theirs. Inalienable is a big word, but basically it means it's a right nobody can take away, not even the government. But they're trying anyway. Right now, they're trying to take away our right to own automatic weapons, saying, "What do you need automatic weapons for?" It doesn't matter what we're going to need them for. It's our God-given right to own them. But mark my words, they're not going to stop there. Right now, they're trying to create a national registry, meaning a list of gun owners so they know who all the law-abiding citizens who own guns are. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe so they can come and confiscate them when the time comes. Right now, to try and deter us from getting guns, they're hoarding mountains of ammunition so that we can't buy it. The Department of Homeland Security is stockpiling not millions, but billions of rounds of ammunition. And they're trying to create a law where maybe the guns aren't illegal, but owning the ammunition is. That's right. They want to make owning an explosive device illegal, including a bullet. Why? Because it contains gunpowder. They're determined to try anything to stop us from exercising our Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Have I got your attention yet? I hope so. I'm telling you, it's not America the free. It's rapidly becoming America the police state. We have to prepare before it's too late to turn back the clock. I mean, just look at what's happening with surveillance of U.S. citizens. The government is obsessed. Forget about the satellites that can count the hairs on your head. There are cameras everywhere now. And whether it's legal or not, whether the media reports on it, there are drones patrolling our sovereign skies. This is unthinkable. This isn't Iraq. This isn't Iran. This isn't Afghanistan. What happened to our God-given right to privacy? The very thing we hold dear as Americans, in fact, that makes us Americans, are systematically being taken from us. Our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, are being trampled upon. Listen to what New York City Mayor Bloomberg said recently about our right to privacy. Quote, "Our laws and our interpretation of the Constitution may have to change." End quote. Oh, my goodness. He wants to change the Constitution's definition of privacy. Unthinkable. Because of the so-called Patriot Act, the government can and does listen in on our phone conversations, read our text messages and emails, see our internet searches, all without a court order. Have you heard of a government program codenamed Echelon? It automatically monitors, records, and interprets yours and my phone conversations. Creepy, huh? Maybe not in Russia, but definitely here in America. And get this, by the end of 2014, the government intends to put black boxes in our cars, just like they have on planes, ones that monitor our conversations, our location, our gas consumption, our speed, number of passengers, everything. Between our phone, our cars, our communication, and the skies, they want to know where we are at all times. Don't you want to know why? Don't you want to know what they're afraid of? No, it's not terrorism. The government is scared. They're making preparations. Massive preparations. Don't you think you should be too? But here's the part that has me worried the most. Their preparations. Here's the prelude to a police state. Did you know the government has resident centers already built around the country? Huge mega civilian detainment FEMA concentration camps that lay idle right now, just waiting to be used. Just imagine group decontamination, forced evacuation, forced vaccines, and forced quarantine. What else is happening behind the barbed wire? Barbed wire that's turned inward to keep people in. They're preparing. For what? They're not talking. Did you know the government is preparing for a zombie apocalypse? I kid you not. There are military and law enforcement drills and simulations also being conducted for terrorism, for plagues, for lone wolf shooters, for war and invasion, for urban riots and social upheaval. You name it. Have you noticed even local police are increasingly starting to resemble an occupying army? It's part of a federal program that equips police departments with military-grade equipment, from surveillance drones to machine gun-equipped armored personnel carriers. Soon the military and police forces will be indistinguishable. Did you know there are huge industrial complexes built under Denver Airport and using the catacomb of caves and tunnels inside Ozark Mountains? What are they planning for? Nuclear holocaust? Global pandemic? Did you know there's a bill in Congress to annex, meaning they own all the water in lakes, rivers, streams within the country? Gee, I wonder why. It's definitely not because they want to make sure we all have clean water. Do you have a wireless router, a cordless phone, remote car door opener, baby monitor, or cell phone in your house? If you do, guess what? The FCC claims the right to enter your home without a search warrant at any time, day or night, in order to inspect it. Let me ask you, why would they want to do that? You already know you are being watched. But did you know that there are 72 fusion centers around the country integrating the information gathering from every level and agency within government and each private sources, like banks, credit card companies, and financial institutions? Every digital transaction we make today is monitored, recorded, cataloged, and digitally scrutinized. How does the government get this information? Whistleblowers say the government convinced the big telecommunication companies to install digital eavesdropping splitters in secret secure rooms at their locations through which all internet and phone traffic flows. Did you know the crown jewel of surveillance is in the Utah Data Center? It's a mega complex scheduled to be operational in September of 2013. The facility will contain thousands of servers that will catalog, archive, and analyze the contents of private emails, cell phone calls, and Google searches, as well as all sorts of personal data trails such as parking receipts, travel bookings, and all purchases. The energy costs alone are estimated to be $40 million a year. Did you know the government is paying private citizens to snoop on their neighbors? There's even a new program encouraging Florida citizens to report their neighbors for making hateful and anti-political comments about the government. Can you see that disagreement with the government is beginning to be characterized as an extremist threat? Kind of reminds you of how political dissidents were imprisoned in Soviet mental hospitals. And just ask people like former Marine Brandon Raub, who was forcibly incarcerated in a psychiatric ward by authorities in Virginia for political posts on Facebook. If it can happen to a former U.S. Marine, it can happen to anyone. And why did NASA...
Click the link right below this video to get started. And remember, if you decide at any point within the 60 days that this isn't right for you, I'll send you a full refund, no problem. You'll just have my sincere thanks for at least giving it a try. So click the link below, and I'll see you on the other side.